submitted for the approval of Goofball TV. I call this episode, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Welcome back, Goofballs, to a special episode. Tonight, we're going to be talking about Are You Afraid of the Dark? Well, are you? Me too. Alright, so this is an old classic Nickelodeon show, used to air on Snick back in the day, and it was about a group of kids who had a secret club out in the middle of the woods, and they'd gather around a campfire and tell each other spooky tales. God, what a great idea. If anybody else out there wants to do something along those lines, let's get it started. Okay, let's start with Season 1. Episode 1, Tale of Phantom Cab. It's classic. I should probably mention, most of these episodes kind of have a similar format. Typically there's like two kids, they're usually brothers or sisters, and it's kind of like a Twilight Zone for kids. Each episode's completely different story, but anyways, so the Phantom Cab, two brothers walking through the woods, they get lost, they find this old kind of shack, and there they meet Dr. Vink with a v. He's a reoccurring character throughout the series, and he's just kind of a weird, strange guy each time you meet him. Anyways, it's a really good story. I don't want to ruin too much, but they're trying to make their way back home, and this taxi cab picks them up. They get asked a riddle, and they've got a time limit. They think something bad's going to happen if they don't get the riddle solved within their time limit. They finally do, and then they kind of poof and disappear out of the taxi, and they see the taxi cab like fade into the trees. It was a ghost cab. Spooky. Okay, what else is on this one? Laughing in the Dark is another kind of famous one. It's about this carnival fun house. Also, the guy who plays Dr. Vink is in that episode as well. Let's see. The Twisted Claw is one of my favorites. Sometimes Are You Afraid of the Dark would kind of base their episodes around well-known like folk tales and just different stories, and this one is kind of based on the monkey's paw, where you get this paw or claw in this case, and you get wishes, but every time you wish for something, you get what you wanted, but something really bad has to happen for you to get it. So it's kind of spooky, and it's set during Halloween. Actually, oddly enough, it's kind of one of the only episodes that I can think of that's actually set during Halloween. Okay, what else we have here? Tale of the Super Specs is a good one. It's about this kid who loves hanging out at the magic shop, and he's into just like novelty items and gag gifts and things like that. And he gets these X-ray glasses, but every time he wears them, he sees these like spectral beings from another dimension. And ooh, it gets spooky. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Jake the Leprechaun, that's a good episode. It's about this little boy, and he's in this play that has to do with leprechauns and banshees and Irish folklore, and little does he know it, but the lead actor, who's kind of the boy's mentor, is in fact a banshee. Yeah, and he has to employ the help of this little gardener guy who knows all about leprechauns, and he helps him out with this special potion to trick the banshee into drinking it, and sets everything right. But boy, that's a pretty good one too. Then you got the Pinball Wizard, which is a cool one. It's set in a shopping mall, and this kid who was supposed to be manning a shop for this guy who owns a little shop in the mall, but instead he's playing pinball, and he gets sucked into the game, and he's got to go through the levels fighting off baddies to save the princess at the end of the game. That's a good one. Okay, Season 2. Season 2's just as good. Let's see. You got The Tale of the Frozen Ghost. That's a kind of a famous one. Stars Melissa Joan Hart, otherwise known as Clarissa Darling, or Sabrina from Sabrina the Teenage Witch. She plays a nanny who's taking care of this kind of just rich, stuck-up kind of kid, and he's going to visit some some like aunts of his at their farmhouse, and they have to uncover this mystery of this ghost who keeps appearing, and he's always saying, "I'm cold." If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Great episode. Okay. The Magician's Assistant, that's a good one about, being a magician's assistant. But kind of, I guess, if I had to sum it up, like, with great power comes great responsibility. Sort of like a Spider-Man type thing right there. Let's see. Tale of the Shiny Red Bicycle. That one's pretty deep for a kid's show. It's about this kid who's riding bikes with his best friend, and his friend gets in this horrible accident and dies. And then like a year passes, and he keeps seeing the friend's shiny red bicycle just appearing in different places, in front of his school, different places like that. And the ghost is real. He's not like hallucinating or anything, but it's there to warn him that his brother might have the same fate that he had. So he has to go save the day for him. It's pretty good. All right, let's see. Okay, season 3. What do we have here? The Tale of the Midnight Ride. Okay, so this is sort of Are You Afraid of the Dark spin on The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. It's a really good one. I think they did a good job with the kid his name's not Ichabod or anything like that, but he's totally that guy. The Tale of Watcher's Woods. This was one that I definitely could not finish as a kid. It's still pretty spooky. A lot of the effects in this show are surprisingly good. I mean, by no means is this show like super high production value or anything, but sometimes there might be 3 or 4 episodes of the entire series that are really surprising. And this one's one of them. It's got pretty good production quality for what it is. It's about these 2 girls who get lost in the woods. They're at summer camp, and there's this old legend at their camp that these 3 sisters went missing like 100 years before, and they were just assumed to have died out in the woods. And they find those 3 sisters. Now they're like old hags, and they've got this like camp set up out in the middle of the woods, and they hold them hostage. It's really good. What else? Here we got one about why you shouldn't prank call people, called The Tale of Phone Police. If you prank call people, you'll go to the slammer, so don't do it. Okay, let's see what else we got here. The Tale of Quicksilver's good. That's a pretty spooky one too. Just your, kid's sick at home, don't know why he keeps getting sick, but there's a big old ghost living in his bedroom that's making him sick. And actually killed the last person who lived in that bedroom. So golly, they're not messing around in this show, I can tell you that much. The Tale of the Crimson Clown. That's another spooky clown episode. The Tale of the Dangerous Soup. Now, that's a weird idea for a kids TV show, right? Dangerous Soup. I don't know what that's all about. It's got a celebrity appearance. What's her name? I can't think of her off the top of my head. She's in Scream. And what else? The Craft, just a 90s kind of heartthrob. Well, that, she's a babe from the 90s. She's in it, and it's about this restaurant that serves the soup. The soup looks like pea soup, but it's $100 a bowl. If you work there, you get to taste it one time, and that's it. You're never allowed to try it again. But anyways, it's made from extracted fears of people. Yeah, pretty wild. Okay. Next, season 4. Alright, so we start off season 4 with a double header. The Tale of Cutter's Treasure, Part 1 and Part 2. It's a good pirate story about, hidden treasure. Again, it's a story of 2 brothers. It's a really good one. The Tale of the Renegade Virus. This was back in the day when computers were just as confusing for everybody as they are for me today. And this was about a computer virus who was actually like a little man running through computers and messing things up. Whew, crazy. The Tale of the Water Demons. That was another episode that I absolutely could not finish as a child. It's really good. A kid and his family have, I think it might be like a cousin or something, but he's kind of a troublemaker, stay for the summer with his family and work at their little mom and pop grocery / gas station. Anyways, they're delivering groceries to this old man one night, And the old man asks if they can just stick around and keep him company because he's terrified to go to sleep. And they're like, "Oh, why don't you just go to sleep?" He's like, "I can't. If I go to sleep, the water demons will come after me." Turns out the guy was an old treasure hunter and stole a bunch of treasure, grave robbed, if you will. And every time he goes to sleep, the water demons come after him, so he can't go to sleep. He probably hasn't slept in about 57 years. I don't know how it's possible, but it's terrifying. Really good episode. Okay, let's see. The Ghastly Grinner, another classic, famous Are You Afraid of the Dark episode. Even if you've never seen the show, I bet you if you saw this jester-looking guy, you might recognize him. It's about this kid who's just obsessed with comic books. All he wants to do is be a comic book artist. And he goes to this brand new comic shop that's opening up, and the woman who owns it gives him this one-of-a-kind comic that her father, I think his name was something Uncas, and it's Ghastly Grinner, issue number 1, and it's unfinished. And Ghastly Grinner is this villain. He's this purple and yellow jester, and he starts laughing, and then people all around him start laughing and vomiting up kind of like blue jello. It's a good episode. It's also kind of got sort of a weird, almost humorous undertone that a few Are You Afraid of the Dark episodes kind of follow, but it's definitely a good one. Let's see. I mean, they're all good. Okay, season 5. Dead Man's Float, another one. I doubt I finished it as a kid. And another one that has really good makeup and effects. This one's about a kid who's kind of a nerd, but gets good grades, and this kind of sporty girl. She's on the swim team, and she needs help with chemistry. He's afraid of swimming, so they help each other out, and they uncover this pool that the school had in their basement, and they get it back up and running, and things are going great. But they realize there's a reason that pool is closed. Turns out there was a water ghost who looks like a big, scary, red, rotting swamp thing kind of thing. And he's out for kids. He wants to eat them or something. It's scary. And good job with that makeup. The Tale of Station 109.1. It's another good episode. I think Ryan Gosling is in this episode. And also, what is his name? Oh my gosh. It's gonna drive me nuts. I can't remember his name. Gilbert Gottfried. That's it. He's in it. Okay, so this kid, he's obsessed with death. He's just kind of got this morbid curiosity about it. And one night he's like laying in the back of a hearse that Ryan Gosling's character is like working on because he's like a 12-year-old mechanic or something. And the radio turns on. It's this radio station way at the end of the dial, station 109.1. And it's a radio station for dead people to listen to so they can make their way to the light and get to the other side. Spooky and good. And Gilbert Gottfried's like the radio DJ. Okay. The Tale of Badge. Another one that I could not finish as a kid. Story about this kind of demon trapped in a box that's passed down from granddaughter to granddaughter in this family, and there's a magic flute that accompanies it, and the demon is this giant badger person, and he's terrifying, and the makeup's really, really good. Still spooky today. Definitely recommend. Let's see what else we got here. The Tale of the Unexpected Visitor. This one's about aliens and contacting them through music. It's pretty cool. There's some good like synth jams. One kid's really into the synth, and the other one's like definitely more of a metalhead. Together they combine to make this music, and they spread it through the galaxy unknowingly, and then the aliens land because I guess they just want to party too. Okay, The Tale of the Chameleons. That one's pretty good. It stars the sisters from Sister, Tia and Tamara. I think that's what their names were. It's a pretty good one. It's about them turning into a chameleon. Okay. I mean, they're all good ones on here. I'm telling you. This show to me is just like a warm blanket. Sure, it's not the highest production quality,
Sure, none of it's really all that scary. I don't know if I'd show really young kids or anything. I'm sure it's spooky enough still to kids. But man, it's like, if it's a rainy Saturday and I don't have anything to do, shoot, there's worse things you could do than plop on the couch with some mashed potatoes and mac and cheese and pop on season 3 of Are You Afraid of the Dark. Golly, I could spend all day doing that. And I do from time to time, believe me. Golly, it's just a good show, and I wish there was something like that for kids nowadays. Maybe there is, and if there is, please let me know down below in the comments. But what do you think your favorite episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark is? Okay, that's a pretty good one, that's for sure. That is a good one. Alright, well guys, thanks so much for coming and stopping by, and I hope you have good dreams tonight. I don't know. Alright, take it easy.